of Accounting and Business of Polytechnic Institute of Porto, Professor Anabela Mesquita, right? Okay, she will be kindly listening and watching your presentations, but first of all, we would like to offer you the presentations about the program as itself, okay? And then each student will present their research data for you, for all. So, and let me introduce our student, mobility student for Portugal, okay? Yeah, Dalton. Okay, yes. Who came here in the frame of Erasmus Plus Credit Mobility Program. So, we had one more student from Portugal, but she gave up. Right?
Zero time in vacations.
Yes, yeah. By the way, very long vacation. Okay, let's start.
Distinguished guest from Portugal, Vice Dean in International Relations of our partner university. We are glad to see you among our partners, and of course we are very glad to meet you in our university today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dina, and I'm one of the students of Master's Degree program. And with permission of all of you, I'm going to be your guide today, and provide you with a brief presentation of the Master's Double-Degree program in Economics and Management and our group. So our academic supervisor is Professor Elena Zhuravlova, and our administrative coordinator, Deputy Director of International Affairs Department of Kuban State University, is Dr. Irina Rash. Some brief information about the university. It was founded in 1920. It has more than 26,000 students, more than 3,000 lectures, and incorporates over 30 educational and research centers. You can see by yourself the advantages of the program is, of course, a double degree, the opportunity to earn 2 master's degrees for 2 years in one of the training specialties, which are project management in IT business, regional development, and foreign corporate economy. Also, the same specialties propose the Czech University, which is located in Prague. The distinctions are: all our classes are held in English. Of course, European diploma supplement, an opportunity to meet international students. Applicants of different fields of study can apply tuition fee in the home university. Convenient timetable for working students. Of course, there are other values of the program. As I mentioned, an opportunity to improve our major skills in English for Russian students and Russian language for international ones, to become more tolerable to other cultures. And there are a wide range of job opportunities for graduates in their home countries as well as abroad. What about competency building? Here takes place a formation of leadership skills through training forms of learning. Through workshops, live business cases, active group discussions, role-playing, management games, and working in small groups. Our professors. All our lecturers are people with a rich experience in their spheres of work. They are aimed to develop students' abilities in economics and management. They give us not only theoretical information but also practical, because most of them work in the different organizations of the cross-border region on the manager positions. But you know, it's a kind of soft information about our teachers whom we admire a lot. You know that being already the third group of students doing our master's degree in economics and management, I'm sure now we are ready to create a program's motto. It can be like, let knowledge flourish, and it's really like this. Really, there is no any other so simple and so meaningful word combination like this one. And behind every smart student there is a group of titans. Our teachers, coordinators, administrators, our leaders, they all share in our success today, so a big thank you to all of them. Of course, someone we admire very much is our program coordinator, who is Professor Anabela. And if you know her at least a little, then you know. For her, no dream is too big and no idea is too ambitious. She teaches us every day that success comes from passion. And after all, we must not just dream, we must do. With our education and this program, it would be absurd not to. So, again, a big thank you to our teachers. As I mentioned, program coordinators. What about our activity during this year? Recently, it was held a scientific conference, Sustainable Economy Prospects for Development, and each of us took part in it. What about participation in conferences? Thank you for here is your photo during at the conference Innovation as a Driver of Economic Growth under the process of searching data for her master's thesis research in IT startups. This is a slide which provides you with the information of topics of our master's dissertations and also topics of open classes in English. But before we all present our preliminary results of our master's dissertations, let me introduce our group. From the left, Alexandra Prodan is a student of the second year IJTHI of the master's program. The next one is Alina Serdyuk, Victoria Bubensova is also mentioned, Yulia Filatova, Anastasia Rush, and Dalbert Alekbeyeva, and me, Dina Lima. So I link this slide here as we are going to present our presentations. Yes. So who will be?
Improvement of psychological climate is a collective. It's the task of developing the psychological potential of A number of sociologists and psychologists have devoted their work to this topic. Shepard said that the psychological climate is the emotional coloration of psychological relations, team members, arising on the basis of their proximity, sympathy, matching characters, interest, and inclination. Bezrukova defines it as a state of group consciousness and behavior which is expressed in the relationship of students with each other. Boris Belts and Christopher Parker noted that psychological climate is defined as individual input perceptions of the work environment. Speaking about type of psychological climate, we usually distinguish two types, favorable one and unfavorable one. Favorable climate is characterized by optimism, joy of communication, trust, sense of security, and etc. Unfavorable one is characterized by pessimism, boredom, high tension, fear of making mistakes, and other factors. Now let's analyze growing industry in Russia to studying psychological climate. Russian brewing industry today is one of the greatest growing markets of non-oil sector in the Russian economy. To analyze beer industry, we present main economic indicators of beer industry in Russia from 2000 to 2015. We have chosen such indicators as beer consumption, number of beer companies of any size, and volume of beer production. We can see that the growth until 2008-2009. Then there is a sudden drop and all numbers give approximately the same result for 2010. It is possibly caused by economic crisis in the country that affect the climate inside organization due to the fact of hard financial situation, diminution of jobs places, as well as salary reduction. To illustrate working atmosphere in organizational figures, we use such indicators as the number of workers who are satisfied with their jobs. The number were taken from the official Russian statistical site. As a result, we have got the coefficient of determination more than 0.6 that shows that there is interconnection between indicators. Based on this data, we can say that atmosphere in organization is related with external factors, economical situation in the country, and financial support of workers. To predict variable, we use sales and profit of their companies. Forecasting using the simple line model is carried out by substituting the necessary data in the equation. We use the method of extrapolation which shows how our sales will change if all other conditions will be the same. After analyzing this data, we can make a conclusion that there is a tendency to increasing of indicators. It means that if the economic situation in the country doesn't change during this year, as well as the number of satisfied workers stay the same, we'll have a beer company state when they will increase the financial results. So that is the projection. Let's analyze the particular company and the social psychological climate. A Czechoslovak company is the largest entity of the beer and soft drink industry of Russia without participation of foreign equity. The main competitors of a Czechoslovak company are such large companies as brewing companies Baltica and Dom. The result presented in picture 1. This is the result according to consumption. Another table describes beer companies as a place for work and is made up according to their in-place references, showing psychological climate. The results are presented in picture 2. As you can see, the ratings of Russian beer industry is not great and should be improved to deserve a better recognition of people. In spite of this fact, it is obvious that the Czechoslovak got the highest indicators that characterize it as the best beer company to work for. That can mean that the company is steadily developing and it has a good chance to enter international market. To improve the situation, we can propose the following measures. First of all, recovery, domestic source of raw materials for beer, soft drinks, and mineral waters production. To expand of acreage of hop and barley. To expand of product storage. To improve products quality and design, and to promote products on the foreign market by advertising campaign. Formation of a favorable social psychological climate is one of the most important conditions of the growth of productivity and quality of service. At the same time, social psychological climate is an indicator of social development level of the team, its ecological resource and capability of better implementation. That is why it is essential to know how to affect and manage social psychological climate which influence on the efficient performance of the organization. Thank you very much for your attention. Do you have any question?
Did you did an analysis just with statistics or?
Mostly, yes.
So you didn't interview or?
No, I interviewed in Achakova companies. On a certain company, I made questionnaires among workers. But industry, I analyzed only according to statistics.
Thank you, Anastasia. Yulia will be the next one.
Object of this study is project management of activities, subject to study is IT industry, innovative product, and its output to the market. Objective of the work is to prove that modern system of project management can increase greatly the output and product to the market. Following the purposes and research programs, we define that project management is an application of knowledge, experience, methods, and means to work on the project for satisfaction of requirements imposed to the project and expectation of project participants. To meet these requirements and expectations, it is necessary to find an optimum combination between the purposes, terms, cost, quality, and other characteristics of the project. According to the study, we have considered various methods of project management. Project management methods show the real plan for preparation of project and help to make it more convenient and effective for efficiency and profitability for company and the project. According to our practice work, we can point to our theory knowledge in practice and can combine with the organizational structure of any company. It's a functional structure of organization. Such structures are characterized by creation of divisions, each of which has a certain task and obligations. Each government department is mainly limited to accomplishment of several types of management activity. In each of them is created a device of the specialists who are responsible only for a certain side of work. Also, we constructed algorithm of the econometric modeling process for IT products analyzing the IT market. As we see in the table 1, cost for technological innovations across the Russian Federation have increased since 2010 to 2015. So we notice a good tendency of growing. The sector of communication has grown a little bit on 0.2%. Using computer and information technologies has risen greatly, 4.2%. Researchers and development on 2.3%. At the second table, employment in IT sphere. The sector of hardware is growing on 0.6%, software 2.7%, IT
Also, it's a good tendency of role in IT industry demands, analyzing the IT products. At the third table, comparison percent of IT workers in different countries. It is available for development of effective modern economy in Russia, need of essential growth of number at the IT occupied in the sphere and penetration of IT competencies into professional activity of workers of other areas. So we see that Russia is not on the top of 4% of workers who works in IT sphere. In the fourth table, prediction volume of innovative products. For years we used 6 other years. For our X is for equation. X1 is the volume of innovative products in the Russian Federation. Second is volume of innovative products in the central area of the Russian Federation, and Y is general volume of products in the Russian Federation. And we use this equation. According to our prediction, in general, the volume of innovative products and volume of products in Russia will increase in the next 5 years. It undoubtedly proves that companies can get more profit in the future. And in conclusion, I would like to say that IT industry consciously develops, and from that how actually we will use them in all fields of activity, it will have an influence on the quality of our life. So, thank you for your attention.
This kind of work that you are presenting is a preparation for a dissertation, or?
Yes, it's like a preliminary results of our research.
When will you present your dissertation, the final version?
Next year?
Okay, so you still have 1 year or 2 to open?
Yes, all of us except Alexandra are first year students, and Alexandra is a second year student.
Yeah, and we will defend our diploma thesis, if I'm not mistaken, in the 20th of January, in a month.
So how do you select your topic for research?
What was interesting for us.
Yeah, as all of us are from different faculty, we chose those ones that were mostly close for us. For example, I'm taking most humanitarian. Another students, for example, we took more economical, more calculation, for example. So everybody took those topics that were close.
I will ask more questions about it because I'm curious.
So, the next one, I'm doing my research under the topic competitive strategies of regional development in modern economy. You know, it's quite hard to shorten the whole research in several slides, but as I have to, I would like to propose you this content. The first part of my presentation is the theoretical aspects of competitive regional development strategies. Then we will move to analytical aspect, to analysis of economical and financial activity of the studied company. And the third part is modeling and forecasting using regression equations of basic macroeconomic indicator of regional development. So, relevance of the topic research, sustainable regional development and the reduction of disparities between leading and lagging regions is a key item on the current political agenda and academic debate in modern economy. Improvement of the welfare of the population living in the region is one of the key aims of the international competition. Each region has its specific characteristic, and the fundamental goal of economic policy is to enhance competitiveness. What about the hypothesis of our research? It's the next one. Competitive, as we consider, competitive regional strategies adopted in the countries according to priority directions of social and economic competitive development are likely to be more effective than those ones adopted independently, apart from regional competitive abilities in a given territorial unit. The contribution of the master's research, and it is called as added value, rely in the construction of final data models of regional development basic macroeconomic indicators, which can be considered as a helpful economic tool in drawing up ratings of republics and determine whether the position of one or another republic is among leaders or versus outsiders with respect to each other in order to develop the right strategies in the future, more mild for leaders and more intensive for livelihoods. So, theoretical aspects of competitive regional development strategies. The main definitions from theoretical part of the research. Competitive strategy may be defined as a long-term plan of action that a company devises towards achieving a competitive advantage over its competitors after examining the strengths and weaknesses of the latter and comparing them to its own. What about regional development? It is, according to United Nations Center for Regional Development, it's a potential instrument for the integration and promotion of social and economic development efforts in those countries that pursue the following objectives. For example, induce rapid structural change and social reform, especially to achieve a broader distribution of returns from development among less privileged groups in society, and some other points. Our studying of competitive regional strategies give grounds for the following key conclusions. Competitive regional strategies will then be implemented effectively and give tangible results in practice when all the links of this chain will be established, beginning with the optimization of their formation and ending with an increase in the motivation of local authorities in implementing effective socio-economic policies, which, taken together with competitive regional strategies, would provide sustainable development of the region. Of course, in practice, everything is much more complicated, but the algorithm of actions should be like that. Now we move to analytical aspect, and we move from macroeconomic level to microeconomic level to the level of companies. So this is analysis of the efficiency of Double-Degree company sales. This company is doing its business in industrial sector of one of the subjects of one of the Russian federal subjects that is named as Republic of North Ossetia. So thanks for our classes of corporate finance. So now we can calculate such main figures as asset turnover, profit margin, and return on assets, and much more. The next table is prediction for profit of this company for the years 2016 to 2020. Overall performance of the company. Manufacturing industry is a very important sector for the overall economic development of each also because of its importance which it has on the field of employment as well as for establishing the conditions for a balanced regional development. The mentioned company specializes in the production and processing of dolomite. The company is the main Russian exporters of dolomite. From 98 to 99% of the total Russian exports are accounted for a share of this enterprise. Modeling and the next, practice part of my future research is connected with modeling and forecasting using regression equations of basic macroeconomic indicator of regional development. As a basic macroeconomic indicator, we consider a gross regional product of the Republic of North Ossetia. And this equation is based on the simple linear regression method, and as variables x2 and x3, we consider two key sectors of the Republic. The first sector is agriculture, and the second sector is retail and wholesale trade. And the last table is the prediction for gross regional product of the North Ossetia Allied Republic. And according to figures, we can see that in spite of financial crisis that took place recently and also is taking place now in Russia, we can see that that gross regional product is going to it has a tendency to growth. Yes, in spite of crisis. So, thank you for your attention. This was a preliminary results of my future dissertation.
Thank you very much.
The next one will be Victoria Kuban.
In the beginning, I would like to provide some statistics according to the report of Sandwich Group, which is the organization which study the projects in IT business. There is a special classification according to the scale and the success of projects. As you can see, they are successful, failed, and challenged. Successful if all the project's objectives achieved within the planned time and budget, failed the project that didn't reach their goals or stopped before getting a result, and challenged that exceed time or budget constraints or have achieved only part of their goals. For the last 10 years, there has been observing a considerable increase in the share of successful projects, and it's a positive dynamics. Success of a project depending on the scale is another chart which shows that the success actually depends on the scale very much, and for large scale projects where human resource costs more than $10 million, the probability of success is 10%, and for small projects where the human resources cost less than $1 million, the probability of success is 7.5 times higher. So Before moving to the next point, I would like to say a little about the procedure of the survey, which was conducted for my latest special survey. Special questionnaire was created, and it includes 12 factors and 3 additional questions: the opinion of respondents about the area of organizer specialization that is needed to increase the efficiency of startup, the effective ways to attract the target audience, and the payback period of effective startup. The survey was conducted in 2 groups. The first group, which is G1, consisted of 10 people. It was the group of future startup organizers who are only thinking now about the launch of their startup. And the second group, it includes 10 people. And the second group consisted of investors, innovators, and those people who are experienced in startups, including startups in IT business. So this is G2 in the table. Respondents evaluated the factors affecting the efficiency of startups by the scale from 0 to 100. The result of survey showed that groups have similar opinion about the importance of managers and project teams' readiness to learn new and develop professionally. The 2 groups also agree on the importance of innovativeness of the product, though Group 1 gives the first place to this factor, and Group 2, which is more experienced, gives it the third place. We also can conclude that Group 1 underestimates the significance of customer orientation of startup, whereas the group of investors, innovators, and startup organizers gives the highest assessment to this factor, and it takes the first place in the rating of Group 2. Now we can move to the analysis of group opinions about the area of organizers' specialization that contributes more to the efficiency of startups. Both groups indicate that the required and preferable area of organizers' specialization for effective startup in IT business is management and business. However, the future startup organizers tend to overestimate the meaning of organizers' specialization in subject area of startup for its success and efficiency. It's also useful to analyze the opinions about the effective ways to attract the target audience presented on this slide. Social networks are considered to be the most effective way to attract the target audience in both groups. Members of Group 1 underestimate the effectiveness of personal meetings and advertising in the media in comparison with more experienced members of Group 2, giving preference to commercial offers. Both groups consider phone calls the least effective way to attract the target audience of startup in IT business. Moving on to the last point, I would like to present the equation of the multiple line regression model constructed on the basis of data from the second group, which includes the most influential factors that had the highest correlation with the payback period. The result of the calculation shows that the startup in IT business in management of which these factors were taken into account and set at maximum on average can achieve the payback period in 1 year and 4.5 months. To sum up, I would like to mention that the metric model of factors affecting the efficiency of startups has shown that managers should take into account not only the innovativeness of the product, but also the qualification and dedication of startup team members, and it's necessary to manage the project in a way that increases the customer orientation of startup in IT business, because this factor also contributes to its development and success and defines the efficiency of the startup. Thank you for your attention. The next will be Alina's presentation.
Topic of my research is the ways of increasing jewelry brands competitiveness, and an example of Tiffany & Co. So jewelry is a part of luxury industries, which include luxury fashion accessories, luxury jewelry, luxury watches, etc. Jewelry industry is highly cyclical in its nature, and that is mostly driven by the increasing wealth. This fact affects the industry in the world economy both in good and bad times. Tiffany & Co. has been the world's premier jeweler and America's house of design since 1837. Charles Louis Tiffany arrived in New York with a vision of spectacular beauty that went on to redefine glamour and style around the world. So speaking about Tiffany & Co.'s mission, this company seeks to enrich the lives of its customers by creating enduring objects of extraordinary beauty that will be cherished for generations. Tiffany & Co. today. Today, Tiffany's keeps step with the American economy and expands across the United States and into South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. That is why we are mostly interested in analyzing the U.S. jewelry market condition. So, as for Tiffany's presence within the American jewelry market at the end of fiscal 2015, Tiffany operated 122 retail stores in the Americas. In this diagram, you can see the composition of Tiffany's Americas segment revenue. The first one is statement, fine and solitaire jewelry, items containing diamonds and gemstones, contributing 25% of sales in Americas. The second one is engagement jewelry, including bands, items containing diamonds, contributing 26% of sales in Americas. And the third one is fashion jewelry, non-gemstones, sterling silver, gold, and metal items, accounting for 49% of sales in Americas. In order to evaluate Tiffany's competitive position, I've conducted a comparative analysis of Tiffany & Co. and its closest competitor, Signet Jewelers Ltd., based on the key indicators of the company's activities. From the presented table, we can deduce that during a 3-year period, Tiffany & Co. is a more profitable company than Signet Jewelry. Despite the fact that Tiffany & Co. has lower revenue and total current assets growth rates, its net income, return on sales, and return on assets rates of growth are even higher in contrast with Signet Jewelers Ltd. Growing return on sales of Tiffany & Co. means that company is generating profits from its top line revenue very efficiently. The higher the return on assets number of Tiffany & Co. means that the company earns more money on less investment than Signet Jewelers Ltd. does. So, on the basis of data set about the US jewelry market's condition, the multiple regression model identified development perspective of Tiffany & Co. The line was described by this equation, you can see in the slide, where Y is personal consumption expenditures on jewelry in billions of dollars, X1 is personal saving, and X2 is personal income. And knowing the regression line, we can predict the values of Y, personal consumption expenditures on jewelry, for the next periods. According to the tendency based on the model, the figures were added to the timeline. Then the forecast was conducted up till the 2025. The variable personal consumption expenditure on jewelry demonstrates the increasing tendency, and in 2025 is estimated to be $82.7 billion in the tendency continues. There is a positive tendency for the company as it provides more opportunities and needs for its services on the market. So, in conclusion, I can say that given the results of the conducted analysis, we can affirm that there is a sense for Tiffany & Co. to operate within the US market, as it demonstrates the increasing tendency in terms of jewelry consumption expenditures. And speaking about Tiffany's long-term strategy, the most powerful of them is to improve its store base through store openings in key markets, renovations, relocations, and closings. To ensure profitability, Tiffany's top management must create strategies on how to grow with the changing market trend. So customers are spending more money in the luxury retail market. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Irina. And the last one, the last speaker will be Alexander Koller.
And also serves as a decrease of negative impact of the expanding economic activity of people on the environment. Power engineering is an area of an economic activity of person and set of the big natural and artificial subsystems serving for transformation, distribution, and use of energy resources of all types. Its purpose is ensuring energy production by transformation, primarily natural energy and natural energy in secondary, for example, in electric or thermal energy. And also I can add that the power engineering is the largest branch of the modern world economy, and the annual turnover in the PE, according to foreign experts, makes from 1.7 to 3.6 trillion dollars of USA. At the same time, power engineering is one of the key life-supporting branches of national economy. The level of development of which, in many aspects, defines economic power of the country and its geopolitical role in the world community. All this leads us to the problem where my work, and it is the need of regulation of the world energy market for creation and continuous maintenance of optimum conditions for receiving and realization of energy carriers. And here you can see the object, the subject of my research, and the purpose of my work, that is to characterize the world market of energy resources, and also to define the role and the place of its in Russia in this market, and to reveal the main tendencies of development of the world energy market. Here is some brief summary of the chapter 1, that is the theory. The major factors influencing volumes of general consumption of energy resources in the world are the population on Earth, energy consumption per capita, and technological level of power, performative and energy-saving technologies. And also we can put these factors into four main categories that are, so these factors are divided into economic factors, political factors, ecological and technological factors. And in the world, on scales of production of energy resources, three largest power, largest power users are marked out, that are the USA, China, and Russia, and of which the USA is the largest consumers, and net importer of the fuel. Here is some information about the next chapter, that is the second one, and it is the analytical. So though in today's world there isn't felt shortages of energy resources yet, in the forthcoming 2 or 3 decades, serious difficulties are possible if alternative energy resources don't begin to be in demand, or whether growth of its consumption won't be limited. The need of more rational use of energy is obvious. And here I put some tables from my articles. Here is just general information about the main resources that are the oil, gas, and coal that are related to non-renewable resources. And on the other side, you can see the renewable one. And here are the main representatives of these resources: is wind power, hydropower, and solar energy. And you can see the main division of these resources into 3 categories. It is production, price, and potential consumption in 30 years. And here is another table. Here you just can see the advantages and disadvantages of all the resources that I already mentioned above. So here is the last chapter, number 3, and it deals with econometrics. And because I'm really short on time, I just put some dependence here is very high to me. So I also have the same graphs for the oil in Russia, but I didn't put it here. Again, for the same reason, but I have a brief summary that is as follows. The consumption of oil both in the world and in Russia grows, and the dollar rate against ruble has increased much during the last 2 years, and on the contrary, the price for oil decreased a lot during 2015 and 2016 years, and these graphs show that the failure of forecasting the consumption from price indicators is in Russia, because R2 was equal 0.2, and the situation due to dollar rate and consumption is almost the same as previous for one between price and consumption, but the dependence between price and dollar rate is high. Thank you for the attention.
Is it all?
Yes.
Good, guys. So you have done a very great job, and you were hardworking. And as far as I know, you took part, your intensive part, to some conferences. And I know that you have some awards for you, for the winners, for the 2nd place, for the 3rd place, and as a participant. Okay? And our honorable guest is awarded an honorable mission to award you with this certificate. Okay? So,
just please allow me to say a few words, because this is really a pleasure and an honor to be here. I knew that I was going to have some presentations, but I didn't expect that they were so good. And I need to congratulate you about your English. Really, your English is really good. I don't know if your background is languages or something similar, but congratulations to you all. I was quite impressed. And if I'm allowed just to say it in brackets, I've been walking around almost for 24 hours, and outside the university, even young people, they do not speak English. And we had quite a difficulty to being understood. Hopefully, I have an app, a translator app in my mobile, so I need to write everything and show them to say I want water, because they do not understand water. Now I know that word is water, so water. Yeah, so now I know. But so I wanted to say that. So congratulations to you all, and thank you very much for this reception and everything. Thank you.
Thank you for your fair and very warm words. So, first of all, we are going to grant participants granting winners. As the participant, Julia
Kuban.
Быстро не убегай, чтобы фотоаппарат посмотреть, Покажи свою эту копию. Да. Вот, молодец.
The next certificate goes to me.
Молодец, не растерялась.
Next one is Alina.
И заранее да?
Now it's time for winners. The third place goes to Anastasia.